Hello and welcome back. Today is a good one. This is a highly requested video. We are reviewing, and by we, of course I mean me, we are reviewing the Hero Force Shield SPF Superlight Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 30. So this is a very new sunscreen. It came out a few weeks ago and I've been testing it and trying it in all different situations, formulating my thoughts on it, and I am here to give you not only my thoughts, but also different ways to wear it. Because it's unique in the world of mineral sunscreens, I think. And I think it may take a little bit of finessing for certain skin types if they want to make it work, but I've found some ways to make it work really well. And yeah, let's get into it. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so below. Like, subscribe, all those things. And the fun Dana fact of the day is I have two kitties. I will post little pictures of them here. This one is Aggie. She is my firstborn. She's a very big diva and a queen of the household. And then this is little Bebe, or Bay, and she adopted us, and she is a rough and tumble, basically like a dog. So we have like a dog and a cat, and they do not get along. Also, I did not used to be a cat person, interestingly enough. I was a dog person my whole life, and then something like clicked in me, and I was like, I like cats. And it's been the best decision ever. I still love dogs too, but cats are so easy, low maintenance pets, so that's it. I'm gonna get into it now. So I may have mentioned it before, but mineral sunscreens and I have a very love-hate relationship. I think there are some reasons that they are great, and I think there are some reasons they are not great, and I think that's okay. I think there's so many like people in this world right now where it's like, no, only one thing can be true. You can only use a mineral sunscreen. This is the reason, and it's black and white. But I don't think that's true. I think mineral sunscreens are great for some people, and then also at some times of the year. But I don't necessarily, for me, particularly love them all the time. I think when I get tanner in the summertime, even though I wear sunscreen all the time, I still get tanner. I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. They just don't work as well. They do leave more of a cast. They also tend to kind of sit on my face and not soak in. So I'm a very active person, and when I work out, then I will have sunscreen just dripping off my face. And that kind of defeats the point of a sunscreen. So, you know, there are times where I love it and other times where I don't, and that is okay. So I just do want to put that out there. I am very much advocating for people using the sunscreen that they will use. Like, if you continue to try to use and find a mineral sunscreen and you just realize you don't like them, that's okay. Chemical or what are called organic sunscreens are just as good. And I know they've been demonized, but I want to reiterate the point that they're not that bad. They kind of all work the same. They all absorb UV rays, not just chemical sunscreens. So that's my little PSA, that's my little rant, and now we'll get into the actual video. So this is SPF 30. And it comes in 1.7 fluid ounces or 50 mils. It's very standard. And this retails for $19.99. You can get it most places. I think I saw it on Target. Not that they carry it in the store yet, but you can buy it and then they'll ship it to you. I bought it off of the Hero website. It took a long time to ship to me because I also bought it like pre-release. I'll wait and then I'll put it on. But yeah, it should be pretty accessible. I think it was on sale when I bought it, but it's roughly 20 bucks, which is pretty much the same as the Bliss Block Star, which is the other mineral sunscreen that I really like. It is 17.53% zinc oxide. That is for your UVA and your UVB protection. It is a mineral-based sunscreen, or what we also call as inorganic sunscreen. And going by my standard, my little list, this one, the next thing is scent. There's no scent in this. It smells like a mineral sunscreen. Like if you've ever smelled a mineral sunscreen, this is what it smells like, but there's no added fragrance, no added perfume, that kind of thing. So the way I'm gonna do it in this video, I know I've just been holding it on my finger. I've been testing it out a few different ways, and this sunscreen is definitely targeted to more people with acne prone or oily skin. So it is gonna be a little bit more matte. Now that can be an issue if you do have dry skin to begin with. I have tried it a few different ways to kind of like see if I can make it work in different ways. So that's what I'm going to be doing now. First off, I have already washed my face, and by wash my face, in the morning I just rinse it with water. I don't need more. That would dry out my skin. And then I put on a few different serums and maybe like a lightweight moisturizer. But that's been, I mean, it's been like 2 hours since I did that. So right now it's a little tacky, but there's nothing there for the most part. So I would consider this kind of like a normal face. And I'm going to be putting it on my normal, not dry, not oily, just like normal face, okay? And if you've watched any of my other videos, I am a huge proponent of doing small, thin layers, and then you can add more and layer up. But almost any mineral sunscreen, and even some chemical sunscreens that you use, if you just glop it on, like I say, my word, I think I made that up, I don't know. You're just gonna get more of a white cast, and it's gonna be harder to blend in, so just start slow. It's not that hard. And I'm just doing little dots, like honestly like that, and then dotting it on my face. I've kind of gotten away from the finger length technique, and I may do a video on why, but I don't know. I just have some issues with that, clearly. If you've seen my other video, which I will link here, I just take umbrage with it. So this is it on camera, and you can see, I think the camera definitely pulls out more of the cast than you could see in natural lighting. Like in my mirror, it looks very normal. I do have different shades, like my body and my like neck are different, like darker than my face. So I think it's more pronounced just because of that as well. But it does look a little casty. You can see if it gets in my eyebrows, which it does. I have no problem with that. That's kind of where you see it, and then around the edges. But I would say this is almost as sheer as you can get for a mineral sunscreen. And if you could, I'm not sure if you could see, but it is like a green tint. They do that on purpose, and I think more brands should get on board with this. By basically tinting it, you are gonna lessen the white cast in the sunscreen. So it's a very easy application. For people who have light or fair skin, this is gonna be perfect. You're gonna have absolutely no cast at all. And then where it gets a little bit more casty is gonna be people with medium, tan, and then of course dark skin. You're probably still going to have somewhat of a cast, especially if it gets in your eyebrows, around your hairline. That is kind of just almost to be expected with mineral sunscreens. But I would say that it is so minimal, at least on me, that it's one of the best ones that I've tried in a long time, and I'm super excited for it. Moreover, just because it is more of a matte finish, it's just super inclusive. I think so many times, a lot of the reason people don't like mineral sunscreens, myself included, is because they just become like an oily, greasy mess. And if you have anything but dry skin, it's just not going to work for you. So people that have darker skin tones with maybe more oily skin, so many mineral sunscreens just are terrible. And this would be probably one of the best, oh, wrong side. This would be one of the best options for people with more oily skin and somebody who does have a darker skin tone. It's still going to have a little bit of a cast, but it's going to be a lot less than some of the like typical mineral sunscreens. Okay. So that is the first way I'm going to wear it, but I'm also going to go through the ingredient kind of call outs and the rest of my kind of checklist. And then I will take this off and put it on a few other ways so you can see what it looks like. So in terms of ingredient call outs, this one is pretty big. They have a few call outs. They call it the green surge, which I was like, okay. I mean, that's the color. It's kind of like a minty green, but it's supposed to have like this antioxidant superfood botanical blend. I freaking hate the word superfood. I just wish it would be out of the English lexicon. I think it's a stupid word. I really dislike it, but I also get it. It's very catchy. It's very PR, like marketing thing. And then they have what's really interesting, and I did a little bit of research on. It's called extremolites, and these are extremophilic or microorganisms. So basically, like the name would suggest, they are ingredients that can live in extreme conditions. One extremolite example would be ectoin, which is an ingredient that is used more and more. And actually, I was just formulating something and I came across it as like a potential for my formula. So it's a cool thing. It's a legit thing. It's not just a marketing name, although it sounds very like marketing gimmicky. It is a scientific name and these are real things. So that's kind of cool. I don't know how much they actually help and like benefit the sunscreen, but it is something that they are calling out in their ingredient. So I wanted to share as well. And then they also have just a ton of extracts, which I will list here. I will show you like a little clip from the ingredient list. And what surprises me more than anything is that they got the price to be $20 with all of these ingredients. I know they do it on a scale like that's just so massive that they can afford it, but it is a pretty incredible and I would say impressive ingredient list. Ingredient lists, there is so much more to it than just the individual ingredients, so never just take it at face value and understand that it's how they all work together. But I am impressed that they have so many pretty good ingredients for such a low price. Okay, and then as I said, this is more of a matte finish. If you can see here, there is a little bit of a glow, but that's just because I had a little bit of a glow to my skin beforehand. I'm gonna show you what it looks like on absolutely bare skin, no anything, and you will see a bit of a more matte finish. But what I've noticed in wearing this is it becomes more matte throughout the day. So you might have like a little bit of a glow on your high points if you have a serum on or something, but as you progress throughout the day, it does become a little bit more matte. It might be a little too drying for some because of that, so it is one thing to consider. But I would say 100% matte finish. And then the cast. As you can see, I am pretty excited about this. This is a pretty good cast, or like lack thereof. Of course, it is going to show more on camera. That's kind of, you know, like when you see a white cast in a picture because somebody has a sunscreen on underneath their makeup. That's what it is. So the light and the camera pick that up more. I also, like I said before, my face is lighter than the rest of my body, so it also is like highlighted by that difference. But overall, this is one of the best ones that I've found recently with a minimal cast, which is super exciting. And then how would I wear it? I've been wearing this all the time actually, but yeah, I will wear this alone. I will wear it under makeup. I will wear it mixed with a moisturizer. I will wear it pretty much in every way. And I think especially in the summertime, it's a really good option for most people that live in a more hot or humid climate. If you live in a very dry climate, this is probably not the one I would suggest just because it is more matte, but it's a very versatile sunscreen. And then my rating. So I would give this a solid 8.5 to 9. It's hard for me to give things a 9 or a 10 just because that means that like there's nothing wrong with it. So like I say 9. I think for some people who maybe have a lighter skin tone and oily skin, this is like their holy grail. But for other people, you know, it just depends on your skin type, your skin tone, all these things. But it's a solid 8.5 for me. And it's one of those mineral sunscreens that I actually reach for and want to wear because it's so easy. And I think I forgot to mention, one of the biggest things about it is the fluidity. This looks like a chemical sunscreen and just like, look at that. So many times they're so heavy and thick and almost chalky. Even if they do blend down and have no cast, they don't feel like this. This feels so nice. It's just a joy to put on. And I think that's a huge part of when I like a mineral sunscreen. It's usually more fluid, more liquidy. So good job. Okay, so I had a few other questions that I kind of asked myself as I was trying this out, and that's the whole reason that I'm going to apply it in different ways. One of them was, is it too drying? And I would say for a lot of people that tend to have more dry skin, this is going to be too drying if you just wear it alone, if you don't really prep your skin. The other thing I asked was, does it reapply well? And it does. I put it on multiple times throughout the day, and I didn't have any pilling. If you put too much on, you're probably going to have pilling. But just do thin layers, like I always say, that's the best way. The other thing I asked myself was, does it wear well under makeup? And the answer is yes. I put on a full face the other day, did great, no pilling, no issues, no chalkiness, no nothing. And then my last question, which is really important to me, how does it wear working out? And I'm surprised and very pleased to say that it works pretty well. I did not have the mineral runoff that I normally do. So this would be an option for me in the summertime working out, and I'm super stoked about that. But now let's try it in different ways. Okay, so I think there are 3 kind of main ways that you can apply this. Of course, there are many, many others, but I would say that there are about 3 that kind of run the range of what type of finish you want. So the first one that I did was kind of the middle ground, where you have put some skincare on, maybe a serum, maybe a moisturizer, but you put it on a while ago and it's sunk in and it's there, but it's not there. And then the other end of the spectrum is going to be bare skin. So right now I have nothing on my face, just washed it with water, everything's off. And then on the other end of the spectrum is where if maybe you have drier skin, you need to have a heavier moisturizer, or you put a moisturizer on right before you put the sunscreen. So I think that's kind of the spectrum where we have light, middle, and then heavy. And what I'm going to be doing now are either ends of the spectrum, since I already did the middle one. So the first one, this side of my face, is going to be on completely bare skin, and I will show you what it looks like. Okay, so we have it on. I know that, gets in my eyebrows a little. Disregard that. And as you can see with the light here, I think that this is pretty much the same as my skin that has nothing on it. It's pretty matte and it soaks in almost immediately. And I would say if you have dry skin, this is absolutely not the way to wear it. If you have more oily skin and you maybe don't necessarily put a moisturizer or something on underneath, this would be a great way. For me, I would put this on maybe only if I'm going to be working out, because it's just I need a little bit more moisture in my life. The next way is going to be, yep, you guessed it, with moisturizer. And I just grabbed any moisturizer. If you have very dry skin, you could choose like a richer moisturizer, but for the daytime, I tend to use something kind of like this, or my own moisturizer, which is great in the summertime. I think the key is putting this on and then putting your sunscreen on pretty quickly thereafter. Okay, so the moisturizer is in, and it doesn't feel, it's like at the point where like it's sunk in, but it's not so dry. So that's when I'm gonna go and put the sunscreen on. Okay, so for me, I can feel the difference. This side just feels like it's gonna be dry throughout the day. I would recommend that method only if you have oily skin. This method is gonna be for people that really have like more normal to dry skin. But I just wanna show you the difference. Like you can see that this one has a bit more of a sheen, and it also just feels like throughout the day, it's gonna be more moisturizing on my skin. I would say that is kind of the one downside about this. It doesn't feel moisturizing. So if you are somebody who struggles with that, you either have to prep properly or probably maybe use something else. There is one other thing I can suggest if you do have very dry skin, and that is to put your sunscreen on however you want, under serums, under moisturizer, alone, whatever. And then once it dries, once it sets, give it 5-10 minutes, you can go in with another mineral sunscreen that is gonna be more moisturizing. So the one I would recommend for that is this Olay Regenerist mineral sunscreen. And you can go in and do basically a second layer of sunscreen. But at the same time, like, why would you spend $20 and then another $30 just to have something more moisturizing? So if you truly do have dry skin, I would probably just recommend something like this. This is a really good one for drier skin. This one is not meant for dry skin, so it works, but it takes a little bit more finagling. So, okay. So that's it. I hope these ideas, I hope this rundown, I hope they all helped you kind of make a decision. I am a big believer in honest marketing and not trying to like dupe people into thinking that it's going to be white cast free, because it's a mineral sunscreen. And until they start using nanoparticles or come up with something better, it's going to have a cast. And this is a very minimal cast. This is a sunscreen that I highly recommend. I think it's a great sunscreen. I really enjoy this. I think they did a great job. They didn't try to say like it's white cast free. They didn't say invisible. They did very honest marketing, and I think it shows. And I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy this. So for me, it's a big yes, probably 8.5, maybe 8, maybe 9. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.